Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Canty. I am your life and career strategist. I have a passion for helping working professionals go from unfulfilled jobs to their dream careers. My team and I do that through helping them with career path planning, resume and interview refinement, and reputation revitalization. All right, Cubicle Country, it's Tuesday, it's 10:30. It's time to stop for hydration and conversation. I know you're out there being excellent. I know you're out there slaying dragons, solving challenges for companies, just being transformational as you always are, as it naturally comes to you. It's time to take a pause and being great. Have a conversation. Pull up a chair. Why do we call this cubicle conversations? Because so much information is shared from cubicle to cubicle. Just having casual chit chat, learning from each other. You know, what works for you? What doesn't work for you? Making those strategic connections. So much can be garnered from that. So much can be learned from that. And that's why we have cubicle conversations. So I know our cubicles are now in our homes. So why don't you just pull up a chair? Imagine that we are enjoying a cup of coffee with each other. Maybe you're a tea drinker. Maybe you're a water drinker. Or maybe you just are sipping on a smoothie. Whatever that case may be. Go ahead and be refreshed in your physical body. And let's refresh your mind. Let's get you ready to go back out there and be excellent. Because that's what my team and I love to do. We love to make sure that you are being excellent, supporting you in your excellence. So today, on this morning's Careers and Coffee Chat, I want to bring a question to you all that Cubicle Country has asked. A question that was sent in from Cubicle Country. So the question is, how do I become better with public speaking? How do I become better with public speaking? Now, for some of you all, you may be wondering, what does that have to do with my career? What does public speaking have to do with my career? But if you think about it, every time you're not in your home, you're not in your personal spaces, every time you're not in your bedroom, you're not in your good morning, you're not in your kitchen, you're not in the comforts of home, and you're speaking publicly. So it's important to know how to speak publicly, how to present yourself in the best light when you're speaking in spaces that are not personal. So it doesn't have to be from a podium. It doesn't have to necessarily be that you're the keynote speaker or that you're presenting a project. But whenever you're outside of your home, you're speaking publicly. So this is a very, very relevant question that was brought in from Cubicle Country. And I've got some tips and tricks on how to speak better publicly. And before I give those tips and tricks, I want to make sure everyone knows that in fact, you can get even more conversation, even more resources, even more support if you join our newly formed Facebook group. We're so excited about this Facebook group because we're so excited about a way to be able to reach out to you all in a new fashion, to be able to give you the resources that you need, to be able to give it to you in real time, to be able to post videos, to be able to answer your questions, to be able to interact with you digitally, but having a more deeper connection in your career seeking process. We're excited about that. So today I'm going to give you some tips. I'm going to give them to you short, quick, fast, and in a hurry because I know you got to go back and do the excellent things that you do. But I want you to know that even though this is a short conversation, you can get even more tidbits, even more support in your career if you head over to Facebook and join Cubicle Conversations, because I love to converse with you all. I know that you've got questions, you've got insight, we've got insight, we've got questions for you. How can we better serve you? What is it that you need? Come tell us in that Facebook group, okay? So let me go ahead and give you a couple of tips. Again, the first tip is to recognize what public speaking is. That's the first tip. Recognize what public speaking is. Public speaking is anytime you're outside of your private spaces and using your voice. Using your voice, be it the actual audible voice or when you're typing. That's a form of public speaking. So if you're sending an email to your boss, if you are chit-chatting with a colleague in a common area, that's public speaking because it's in a public space. And the reason why I'm emphasizing that is because a lot of times people only think about speaking from a podium, speaking from a platform, but know that you're speaking publicly because that's going to tell you to clue in that the fact that people are listening, people are hearing. And that's a lot of times the reason why people lose jobs, because they don't recognize you're speaking publicly. Even though you think you're having a private conversation in a public space, you're speaking publicly. That means your audible voice and even your behavior on social media, you are publicly speaking. Even though you're typing the words and you're hitting send and you're hitting post, that is public speaking. So a lot of times people will lose opportunities for employment. A lot of times people will lose their position because they don't realize they're speaking publicly. Think about all the celebrities who lost endorsements, who lost television programs, who lost, millions of dollars because they didn't realize you're speaking publicly. When you are hosting, when you are sending emails, when you are taking pictures, that is speaking publicly. That's the first tip, is to recognize exactly what public speaking is. You don't have to be paid as a speaker. You don't have to be paid as a trainer or as a coach to be speaking publicly. Recognize when you are. Number 2 is to get a role model. Get a role model. Actually, number 2 and number 3 kind of go hand in hand. Number 2 is to get a role model. Number 3 is to find your voice. So if you're struggling to figure out where is my voice, how do I want to present myself, you want to get a role model. So there's a lot of different public speaking styles. Some public speaking styles can kind of have a pattern, a cadence to how they present themselves. Now, being a Christian woman, I've heard a lot of different preachers have different preaching styles. Some of it is sort of in a sing-song type of tone. Some of it is in sort of more of a softer approach. But it's the same thing with public speaking. So you want to make sure you get a role model. If you're searching for a role model who sounds like how you want to present yourself, think about all the different ways you take in messages. So think about on the radio. Is there someone that sounds like, I think I want to present myself in that way? When you turn on the news, is there a newscaster that sounds like, I think that's how I want to present myself? Is there, when you think about the news, the radio, when you think about public figures, when they're speaking, is there somebody who sounds like, you know what, when I show up in the room, I want to sound like that? You want to establish who your role model is in public speaking and pay attention to what they do. How do they move their hands? What facial expressions do they have? What's the level and volume to their voice? Are they very monotoned? Are they very calm? Are they excited about what they're saying? Are there different levels in what they are saying? Pay attention to that, because that is your blueprint, your script, your go-to, your SOP on how to present yourself when you're publicly speaking. So let's go back to number 3. Number 3 is to establish your voice. Understand that your voice is uniquely gifted. Your voice is uniquely crafted. So you're not going to sound like anybody else, but you can get some tips and pointers. I know that I have looked at my role model and how she presented herself. She always spoke with grace. And even when she was delivering bad news, it was sprinkled with a sweetness. And I said, okay, you know what? I want to be like that. However, my role model's voice isn't as deep as mine. I've been told a time or two before that my voice is deep for a woman. So when she spoke sweetly, her sweetly sounded differently than my sweetly. And I laugh out loud and I can get really excited about things. And sometimes my voice carries. And so I had to realize that that's my unique gift. That's my unique voice. So when it shows up, when I hear my role model speaking, I got to put that Jessica spin on it. So I know that my unique voice is still being heard. So 3 tips so far. Realize what public speaking is. Establish a role model. And number 3 is to find your own voice. The 4th one is to practice, and then practice some more. So practice thinking, when I post, is this the voice I want people to hear? Practice doing lives. It's okay if you stutter. It's okay if you trip over your words. That is going to strengthen your public speaking voice. Then you want to practice even in a podcast. Now they're completely free. You get a podcast completely free. Go ahead and record that. They even have editing software. So if you feel like you're stumbling over your words, if you feel like you're uncomfortable, you want to make it just so, you can go ahead and edit that. So you want to make sure that your voice is heard. Establish a blog. Make sure that when you're putting yourself out there, the future employers, employees, clients, and customers hear your story in your voice that you're presenting. So those are the 4 tips today on how to speak publicly. So the member of Cubicle Country who sent in their question, this one is just for you. Number 1, recognize what public speaking is. Number 2, find a public speaking role model. Number 3, find your unique voice. And number 4, practice, practice, practice. All 4 of these skills are something that we work on with our clients. We always say you want your success squad. So we help you establish that role model. We help your unique voice because we're in the brand management field. Because we say we treat your career like the business that it is. So we're helping you to make your unique brand story. Number 3, we help you identify what are your unique superpowers that you have to help bolster your confidence in your unique voice. And number 4, we practice, practice, practice. We help you slay interviews with that public speaking voice. We help you to show up as a subject matter expert with that public speaking voice. So if you're ready to improve on your public speaking, if you're ready to not hate Monday mornings, if you're ready for Tuesday to stop feeling like Monday morning, like you're dragging yourself out of bed and all it is you're going from your bed, your pillow to your computer, it is time to go ahead and send me an email. Go ahead and check out jessicacanty.com. You know what you need to do? Here's your homework assignment. Go join our newly formed Facebook group. Tell us what you're struggling with, because we're here to help you. Just like a member of Cubicle Country sent in this question, you can send in your questions. You can say, hey, Jessica, I'm struggling with this. You can post your resume and get some help. Head over to Cubicle Country on Facebook because we want to help you. In the meantime, you can also head over to our podcast, Cubicle Conversations, Discussions to Accelerate Your Career Goals. All right, you all. I know you got to go back out there and be excellent, but go out there with a spring in your step, knowing you are already an excellent orator. You are already excelling in public speaking. When you implement those 4 tips, know what public speaking is, have a public speaking role model, make sure that you find your unique voice, and then practice, practice, practice. I can't wait to talk to you all again, but you got to head over to that Facebook group because we got something big coming in September, and you want to be the first to know. You want to be in the know, but you won't be if you don't head over to that group. Until next time, Cubicle Country, keep those Corona career concerns coming. Keep those career coaching questions coming because we're here to support you.